President Biden is canceling $9 billion in student debt for 125,000 people nationwide. It's part of his administration's fixes to a number of programs, including the income-driven repayment plans and public service loan forgiveness. Federal student loan repayments began once again this past Sunday after 3.5 years of pause, affecting some 44 million borrowers. The Federal Reserve says the average monthly payment is between $200 and $300. Let's talk more about what's happening by welcoming back to the 9 Jason Matthews from Matthews Financial. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
The pause was nice. Now that's over.
It is over completely.
What's step number one for people who say, I don't even know what I owe and to whom?
So the first thing you should do is go online right now on studentaid.gov. On that, you should register. And when you register, you will get your new IDR number, and you'll find you get a new number. And then that's how you find out how much you actually owe on your student loans.
Okay, and I imagine there might be some address updating. I think of all the change that's happened in the 3+ years, there might be a little bit of burden on our end to make sure the government knows where we are and how to find us.
Correct. So it's a lot. It's very complicated, and it's a big-time mess. Right now, it's a huge mess.
I like it, a big-time mess.
So what people should do is go online, update your address to make sure it's updated, your phone number, as you have a brand new system, and you want to make sure it goes hand in hand. At the same time, while they had this 3.5 years, 2 other servicing companies who traditionally service your student loans, they're actually no longer available. And then the budget to service them got cut by 10%. So a lot of the information that might not have been transferred over, and you need to make sure you do that, because now what they're looking at, they're going to start looking at your taxes to make sure how much money you can actually get forgiven.
I see. So let's just say I find out I have a $200 a month payment, and I think I can't pay that. What's my next step?
If you cannot pay it, I highly recommend you pay it, because eventually what they're going to do is they might go after your Social Security check. They might put a lien on your checking account in your paycheck. But if you cannot pay, what's going to happen is after 3 months of not paying, you'll automatically be part of what they call the RAMP program, which is a new program that they're instituting, which is a negative amortization loan program, which means you might be in debt forever with your student loans.
So it just keeps piling up on the back end, essentially.
Correct.
Okay.
And so it is a program that's going to come out after 30 days automatically, so you don't have to do anything for that. Okay. But do not put your head in the sand about it. Make sure you go online first, look at it, and try not to get a part of that program if you can.
It's not going to go away. Let's talk about the income-driven save plan. What's the option there?
So the income saving plan, what you want to do now is they switch the burden right now of knowing about it from the servicing companies over to your tax preparer. And the reason is you want to look at the save plan as a new way to possibly pay down your student loans. But some people's incomes might have been less during COVID than it was now with the previous plan. So what you want to do is you want to compare your income, what you had back then, to compare it to now, as there's over 100 different strategies to pay back and programs there are to reduce your income for your student loans. So once you compare it, then at that point, you might want to go in that new SAVE program where it might be a reduction, or you might go in the previous plan based off what your income was 3.5 years ago compared to what it is today.
So SAVE plan might work for me if, let's say, before the pandemic, I was making $85,000 a year. Now I'm down to $60,000. I can't make that same payment with ease.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's talk about paying these bills while trying to save for the future. I read in a recent study, 66% of people who held student loans said that paying that student loan means I can't fund my 401k, my retirement plan. What a difficult choice to make.
Very tough situation to make. What I highly recommend that anybody does that is I probably want to pay off my student loans and work on that first, especially because we're in a higher interest rate environment, and that student loan might be a variable rate, and it might be more expensive as well.
Okay. But even though if I'm 27 and if I start putting money away now, it's going to grow and grow and grow by the time I'm retired.
If you have to, I always want to do a balanced approach where I pay some of my student loans, and I also want to pay back my retirement. But if I have to choose, I want to work on paying down that loan first, then go ahead and tackle retirement at that point.
How big of a burden are student loans for the people you help?
I see it more and more, because what it seems like is happening is student loans went from the burden of the student over to the parents. So if the fastest growing group of people who are having student loans are people over the age of 50 getting student loans for their children. And at the time when people usually save for the most for retirement, they're actually putting some of that money towards student loans, which is an unfortunate thing to happen.
So I like you, am raising 2 boys, and college college is not that far away anymore. We were doing something at Stanford, and my son said, I'm going to go here. And I said, if you get in here, we'll pay for it. But I thought, how are we going to pay for it? In just, in the 2 seconds we have left, what do you say to parents when they're looking at the possibility of taking on a lot of debt for their child's college education?
Be careful. Understand that as a parent, you can always have loans for student loans, but there's no loans for you when you get ready to retire. And we see more and more people are getting ready to retire or who want to retire but cannot because the student loans is a huge burden that they simply could not afford from the very beginning. So if you have to tell your kids, no, you can't go to Stanford, maybe you go to Cal State East Bay, or if you do go, you have to take on the student loans and you're responsible for it, do that before you take on that loan and you simply cannot afford it. So talk to your advisor beforehand.
I like it. Do you have to take care of yourself first before you take on even more from your little one? Well, I'll have a conversation with him today. Jason Matthews, it's always good to connect. I'll mention, as I always do, you're raising 3 young boys yourself, you and your wife, so a lot of this is very personal.
So personal right now.
Okay, we'll see you again soon, I hope. Thank you.